Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Excel VBA Expert. In today's video, we will be learning about macros in Excel. Okay, what is macro and how do we use it? Alright, and apart from that, how we can automate the report and how we can automate the small tasks. Usually which we do in our office. Alright, so similarly, I have taken some couple of questions. Alright, which we will be doing practically in today's video. Okay, let's start to know what is macro first, or then after that, what is the full form of macro, and what type of references are there, all right, in macros. Okay, and which one of them is very much as useful. So let's start to know first of all what is macro. So macro, if you can see, I have already given the definition here. So macro is a Excel is macro in Excel is a programming language that allow the user to automate the task in the spreadsheet. So in which on my screen, wherein I have written all these things. So it's my spreadsheet, all right. So here, whatever the task, generally we do copy paste, right? We do some calculation, we create the pivot table, we collate the data. Such a task we can automate, through macro. All right, and it also enables the user to create the custom command and function to automate the repetitive task and create the custom application that can interact with the other application. It can be used to automate the data entry to create the custom formulas and a kit start. For example, on a daily basis, you have to basically, you get the data on Outlook, all right, on over the mail, all right. The format of the data is always same, right, but you do that task manually. In that case, what macro can help us, macro can automate that task automatically, right? So macro help us to automate the things which is very repetitive. All right, for example, okay, here, as earlier I have given you example that you receive the data on a daily basis on your Outlook. All right, and you do copy and paste and you do collate the data, right? That thing you can automate through macro, right? So we will be doing the same thing, not the same thing, but we will understand how the macro runs, and again how should we record the macro. All right, so there are a couple of things which we will be doing. So let's start to know first of all the full form of macro. All right, and the definition I have already told you. It in a simple language, if I would tell you the macro is basically the programming language which allow the user to automate the things. All right, using recording. Basically, we record the steps of the task. The ones we have to do the one-time manual work. Okay, and we need to record that our steps. Okay, which okay we are completing a task. Only those steps we need to record in the VBA. All right. So that recording we can do, and we can save it, and we can assign in any control button. Okay, we can assign that code into that particular button, which can help us. Okay, which can help us to only click on that particular button. Okay, and automatically our task will get done itself. All right. So let me explain you what is the full form of macro. M is basically stand for merge, F stands for and, C stands for correlate, and R stands for record, and O stands for output. So this is the full form of macro. I thought let's take this question as well. All right. Before before recording the macro, let me explain. Let me tell you the two things. There are two type of reference: absolute reference and relative. What is absolute reference? An absolute reference is a cell reference that remains the constant even when the copy and paste to the other cells. It means the absolute is something static. All right. For example, that if I have told you, if for example, okay, on a daily basis I am copying and pasting the data from A1 to A10, but in some day what is happening, okay, our data is getting bit stretched, our data is going till row number 12. So in that case the absolute reference will get failed, because that will paste the incomplete data. But if I would talk about the relative reference, the relative reference is basically the something which is a dynamic, okay, which works very dynamically. Or if the data is getting stretched, if the data is getting decreased, so in that case the complete data will get copy and paste. All right, so let me take you through the first of all two macros, which is the absolute and the relative macros. Okay, I'm going in here. Okay, here I have taken the two things. Okay, the absolute macro and relative macro. All right, so here what I have done, I have created the two dummy data. Alright, I will explain you the first absolute macro, how it works. So what you have to do, okay, you have to go on home and sorry, you have to go in developer. If in case the developer tab is not Excel, you have to right click on it, go in the customize the ribbon. Here you will be able to see on the bottom right side. Okay, let the window come. Alright, where it has gone. Alright, here. Here you will be able to see the developer. Okay, in your case it will be unchecked. You have to check it and click on OK. At the moment you will do it, okay, that developer tab will get enabled in your system as well. Alright, you have to, after that you will be seeing the record macro. Alright, record macro and use relative reference. Alright, I'm clicking on record macro. At the moment I have started to record, I will give the macro name. I am giving the macro name absolute macro, for example. And shortcut key, what shortcut key I need to provide? I have already written shift q, control shift q. Again, not a personal macro workbook I want to record in this workbook. And clicking on OK. I have clicked, right? So okay, if even if you are taking time, your time is not getting captured into the code. Your steps, if I will click here, it will get captured, it will record it in the programming language. Alright, so let me write the serial number. So what I'm doing, I'm clicking here 1 and plus 1. Alright, I'm coming, I have gone left and going down and one right and control shift up and control D, and I have came out of this data and I stopped recording. Alright, and this macro I'm going to assign in one button. For example, I have created the one button here. Alright, here I will be providing absolute macro which I have recorded earlier. Here I have to provide the absolute macro. Alright, I provided. If I will delete this data, if I will click on this macro, will it work? Yeah, exactly, it is working quite good. For example, I had also assigned the shortcut key. If without pressing this button, if I will press Control Shift Q, okay, with shortcut key I had given, alright, while recording. So Control Shift Q I am pressing. You guys can see how quickly our task is getting complete. Alright, again let me delete it and absolute macro. This is something absolute wherein we only just record and did our steps of our task. All right, and that thing we have basically assigned into this control button. Again, if I will press Control Shift Q, it is working quite good. But in case if I will increase the data, for example MIS, so it will work. No, it is not working. Still the serial number I am getting only till 10. Okay, but my data is now got stretched, right? So in this case, okay, when the data is getting increase and decrease, so in this case the absolute macro will not be working or not be good. So let's now move to the relative macro. Here in a relative macro, what we have to do, I'm going in developer and recording the macro relative macro. Here shortcut key, what short, Control Shift T. Alright, here I have written Control Shift T. In this workbook, yes. Here, what I have to do, again the same thing I'm doing, 1 equal to plus 1. But here, the steps now I'm going to do, that is something which is known as the relative reference. The relative reference option you will be able to see, okay, below the stop recording. Just click on it. It helps us to create uh, the range dynamic. So what I'm doing, I am clicking left arrow, going down with the control down arrow key, and one right arrow, and after that I will stop it. Okay, if I will drag it and will come out of this data and will stop it, and now let me assign this code. It will be as a relative macro, right? Let me rename it. All right, I did. For example, now I am I'm deleting this thing and clicking on this button. Yeah, it is working as absolute macro was working. Now Control Shift T. Yeah, it is working. But in absolute, when my data is getting increased, so in that case it was getting failed. But in this case, let's have a look. I am writing MIS, pressing relative macro. Wow, fantastic. Control Shift T, it is working quite good. Let me add a couple of things more. Now let me delete it. Control Shift T. Wow. So this is how the relative macro is basically dynamic. Okay, when we need to basically the relative reference help us where we need to make the range very dynamic, wherein we don't know where, when. All right, the data can get stretched. So in that case you have to basically use the relative reference when you are going down, where you're going left, where you are going, when you are going right, when you are going up. In those cases you have to use the relative reference, which can help us to do our task very dynamic. All right, so this is how that you can use the absolute and relative macro. All right, so that I have done. All right, and next we have auto formatting. For example, I have this data, but the condition of the data you guys can see. Do you think the data which I am showing, it is in the structured format? No, it is not looking that much good. We have to make it bit attract. We have to design. We have to format this data. Let's do it by recording the macro. I clicked on record macro. Okay, I am writing auto formatting data, and shortcut key I am providing Control Shift A, for example. And okay, here you have to do each and everything very dynamically. You have to come in A1. All right, and after A1 you don't know when the column also can get stretched. So in this case you have to click on the use relative reference. Control Shift right I have done, and you have to again you don't know when the data can also get increased row wise. So you have to click, you have to press Control Shift page down, sorry, down arrow key. Okay, now after selecting your entire data you have to disable the relative reference. Here you can auto fit it. For example, I am setting the auto fit column width, for example 20. All right, and I am doing, and I'm setting the alignment Alt HAC. All right, Alt HAC, and pressing Alt HBA. All right, and after that what I have to do, I am removing the background color, and copying and pasting the data of A1. Right here I have to color the headers. So again you have to go on the developer, select the relative reference. Okay, you have to press Control Shift right arrow. After that you have to go just disable the relative reference. Control B, just give the color which you want. All right, I have given the data. All right, here I have, now the data is looking very good. All right, now I'm going in developer and stop recording. All right, here I'm assigning the one button. Auto formatting. Right, and let me do it here. Auto formatting. Right, now again what I'm doing, I have removed the data. I will I will copy this data and will paste it as a value. All right, and Jan, Feb, March, April, and May, and then between I'm keeping. Now the data condition you guys can see again. Now I have to check my macro, is my macro working fine or not. I am clicking on auto formatting. Fantastic. You guys can see how quickly my data is getting formatted. For example, again I'm removing all these things. All right, here I have added one more column. I will copy and paste it like this. Let's see now it will work. I have assigned the shortcut key Control Shift A. Wow, fantastic. How quickly my data is getting formatted. How easy it is to record the things and to automate our task. Right, so this is how we can do it very easily. All right, so the second also we have done. Now data sorting. if let's suppose some people in your organization, right, in your team, that some people have been hired in your team and they don't know how to operate the excel, but the one task on a daily basis you have to do, you have to short the data and send them to the stakeholder, but those people are not aware how to short. So in for those people you have to make that work easy. Okay, so in the I mean in that case you have to record the macro, and that macro is basically would be for short the data, right? So here what I will be doing, I will be recording the macro from A to Z or Z to A. All right, A to Z or Z to A. All right, that is what I have to record. I am going on developer recording it. Okay, A to Z for example. All right, and I'm not giving any shortcut key now. Right, you have to come here, you have to use relative reference for increasing or decreasing the data, you have to disable it. Now you have to press shortcut key alt ds, which help us to short the data. Right, in short agent we have to short A to Z. All right, and stop recording. Now I'm assigning one thing here, button I have given, and here A to Z, wrong macro I had assigned, A to Z. Right, so here I will provide it A to Z. All right, same thing I would do for the Z to A. I record the macro Z to A. Okay, again you have to go on A1, use the relative reference, select the data as usual, disable the relative reference, alt ds you have to press, agent already selected, again you have to select agent, and it should be Z to A, and click on OK. Alright, and stop the recording. Again create one button here. Alright, you just need to do, and Z to A you have to write here, Z to. Alright, here now if I will press A to Z, my data is getting short. Z to A, it is data getting short. So this is how you can automate this small task as well. Okay, to short your data. Z to A to Z, Z to A to Z, Z to A to Z. Alright, this is how you can automate it. Great. And next, top and report. Okay, in macro 4 what I have to do, I have to extract out the top 5, top 7 people, all right, who made the more sale, and top 5 people who made the good sale, and top 3 people who made the good sale. So here I want 3 buttons. All right, so let me design the buttons and press giving the headers here. For example, this is how top sellers, for example. In inside this header I want to provide this one. This is the button wherein I want top 7. All right, top 7 I have written, copy and paste it. Top 5 I have written, and top 6 I have written. So here you have to record the 3 macros. Here what I am doing, I am going in developer, recording the macro, top 5 I am writing here, and pressing enter. The same you have to do, you have to come on E5, use relative reference, go right, go down, and disable the relative reference. Now you have to press Ctrl Shift L for the filter. You have to click on amount. In amount you have to click on number filters, top 10. Here in top 10, instead of 10 you have to provide the 7 and press enter. Okay, and click here and go down. All right, stop recording. The first macro you have recorded. All right, and the second again for top 5, again you have to record the macro for top 5. Okay, so let me see how many go on macros. Top 5 I have done, right? So let me, okay, 5 I have already done. Now I have to record the macro for top 7. I am recording at top 7. I am writing, pressing enter, going in E5, and alright. I think I have to delete this one. Yes, now again record it. Top 7. Top 7. You have to go on, you have to come on E5. You have to click on use relative reference, go right, go down, disable the use relative reference option, press Ctrl Shift L, click on amount, and go in the number filters. In top 10 you have to enter here 7 and press enter. You have to come and look at it. Already stop recording. Alright, and top 3 you will do. Alright, that is your task. The same thing you have to do. I am right clicking on it and assigning macro top 7, and top 5 I have assigning macro for top 5. For example, now I am clicking on top 7. Wow, it is working. On top 5, wow, it is working quite good. This is how that you can get the top end data. All right, now the last macro which we have to record, filter the report. It will be a bit tricky, I would say. All right, here what we want in O1, in O1 what I want in O1, if I'm writing Abhishek Kumar, for example, then what should be happen? The Parveen Kumar data should get copy like this. Control Shift L, and it should be copy like this, and we'll filter it like this. Alright, and entire data should copy like this. Control C and Control N. In the separate workbook, it should get pasted like this. Alright, so this is the task which we have to perform. Right. Let's start to do. Then going in developer, record macro, I will provide extract data, and okay, you have to go on A1, use relative reference, go right, go down, okay, disable the use relative reference, Control Shift L. After Control Shift L, you have to go on O1 to copy this data. Okay, you have to search here on master data and click OK. Again, you have to go on A1, use relative reference, go right, go down, Control Shift Control colon, copy, Control N for the new workbook, and paste directly, and go back to your that sheet, go again A1 and press Control Shift L for unfilter and stop recording. That is what you have to do. Alright, let me assign it. In Parveen Kumar data I have, you guys can see how many Excel I have opened, 3. Alright, so I would assign one button here, extract data. Here extract data I have, extract data. I am clicking on this extract data. This can not be applied to the selected range. Just hold on, let me check why we are getting. Alright, so what is happening? It is directly, it is directly checking, I mean copying and pasting from here. So our cursor should be on A1 in this case. Alright, so if I will click on extract data, so how it will provide me? You guys can see if I'm pressing Control or Alt tab, here the Parveen Kumar data we have in the separate workbook. If I will close it again, I would show you how many sheet I have open. I have almost 3 sheet open here now. Alright. If I will again click on extract data, so what is happening? The Parveen Kumar data, now you guys can see something is wrong, something happened wrong. Just wait. Alright. A1, click on extract data. In extract data, I have the Parveen Kumar data separate. You guys can see in the separate workbook. But for example, For example, if I'm changing this cell, I'm changing the name here. Instead of Praveen, I am clicking on, I'm pasting Ashok Kumar. So do you think it, the data which we will be getting after clicking on extract data, those that data would be of Ashok Kumar? Let's see. Clicking on extract data, output would not be correct. You guys can see. All right. It is, something is happening, going on here. You guys can see that now data is blank. Now data is blank. Let me close this file. So here we have to do bit manual amendments in the VBA code. I will right click on this and will assign macro and I will go in edit. In edit, in criteria, you guys can see everything is freeze. Everything is freeze, right? You just need to change it like this. Instead of here, you have to give range o1 dot value, right? If you will now click, so now it should be the Ashok Kumar data. All right, it is the Ashok Kumar data, guys. If you can check. So this is how that you can. I mean, the data which we are getting, it is quite good. This is how we can do it. All right. So thank you so much to watching the video, and I would say just do the practice as much as you can do. All right. Thanks a lot.